In the most holy name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, to whom all praise is forever due. We thank him for raising in our midst the promised Messiah, the predicted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank them both for their perfected representative, their mercy to us all, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet you in the words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, it is just such a blessing to be able to live in the time of the end of Satan's rule and the restoration of the planet Earth to its original purpose, and that is to be the home of the original people of whom we are the descendants, the black man and woman who are the makers, the owners, the cream of the planet Earth, the God of the universe. And I just wanted to say briefly, before I read some brief excerpts from an amazing article by Mother Tanetta Muhammad. The minister is asking us in this assignment to think over what we want. We have to lose any fear or restriction that we may be imposing upon ourselves as a result of being under Caucasian people and being limited in our belief that we can have what we want. We have to understand that there's no personal desire that is too small, that Allah will not assist us in getting it if we have faith in Him. But remember, He asked the question in the speech, Belief in Allah, is there something you want and have not been able to get? And He told us to close our eyes and imagine it. So He's clearly talking about a thing, something in the material realm. And even though we may ultimately desire, and it's a beautiful thing, to have lofty goals of wanting peace and harmony throughout the earth, but it starts with the individual self. We're actually in training to become gods again. And I want to share from the September 4th issue of the Final Call newspaper, unveiling the number 19 series by Mother Tanetta Muhammad, our late Mother Tanetta. And this article, which is reprinted from volume 32, number 42, if you get the September 4th issue, please read this. But it's so wonderful, I have to lift some excerpts because it's speaking right into what we're doing now. She writes, "We are all born spiritual warriors from the beginning, from the dark womb of space. We battle with darkness until we bring forth the light as a stage of consciousness in our awakening of the God power within. We argue not over the Messiah or the Christ being black, neither as a Muslim contending with a Christian or a Jew to define our existence or to give us sight into the reality of God and self. The silence of thought envelops us in the tones and colors of all things." And if we saw the services of our beloved sister, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, today, it may have been trying for us because we saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan throughout a 7 or 8 hour event, and he was not called upon to have a word. Now, I'm given to understand that he only wanted to pay his respects. He did not desire to speak. However, it's stunning, and Brother Randall had said it earlier, that you're singing to Jesus and about Jesus, and you're preaching the gospel, and Jesus this and Jesus that, and Jesus is sitting there in your midst. And you know it, but we're in an hour of choice, and we are making an informed choice. We have received such favor from Allah. Allah has no history of raising a messenger or sending a prophet, and that prophet or messenger being rejected, and he doesn't destroy those people. But we rejected his messenger, and he gave us mercy in a second man. It's never been done. But this is a father loving his children. But even he says his mercy is abundant, but it is not infinite. And we saw the manifestation of a Negro today. The slave choosing to stay with the slave master, even though the slave master no longer has power, they don't even see it. She goes on to say, Mother Tynetta, our marching orders come from the gentle voice of God within that speaks, guiding us resolutely on the path of the knowledge of God that we seek. See, the self-accusing spirit. But I just found it significant. She said, we don't argue with people. And as was pointed out, I think Brother Michael talked about it, how serene the minister was. That as infuriated as I was, I have to acknowledge his serenity. He's so magnanimous, he's so generous, and he's sincere. He really was enjoying the gifts that many of the singers and speakers had, and just being in a church full of our people, even when some of them were sellouts, some of them. But those who bowed down to a paycheck, Al Sharpton crunched up in his seat, trying to be as far away from Jesus, Reverend Al Sharpton. And I can bear witness because I was a young Muslim, just had come in the nation when I traveled in the party with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to New York to stand with Al Sharpton when he was standing for Tawana Brawley. And we rode up to Albany, New York, and faced off with white sheriff's deputies who had snipers up on rooftops outside the court. But it was the minister who drew national attention to Al Sharpton. Nobody would even know who he is if it were not for Minister Louis Farrakhan. And you're going to crunch up? That's fine. Mother Tynetta writes, we are a mathematical dimension of divine unity and sublime wisdom deeply embedded within. We are the enactment of a psychic drama of many lifetimes put together, always yearning to learn. We sleep in the darkness where creation begins at the moment when matter explodes into dust and form the crystalline patterns of light upon light. Our ancient fathers, the gods of thought, resonate throughout the darkness of space until the light of stars burst forth as day. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for light in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Genesis 1:14-15. And so we utter too, she writes, the word be, and it is. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke to us in private table talks about how the gods, united in the Godhead, created the stars in heaven by projecting their thoughts through the darkness of space to bring forth a particle star system. How it would materialize after so many thousands or millions of years to be just that. In this present period of time, we have the same potential spiritual insight to bring forth new material objects from darkness, the material of the universe. And so, beloved, the darkness of the colonies that we call ghettos, we right in this moment have the power to bring light forth from the darkness. We have to believe, we have to have faith. That's all we need. She goes on to say, and I'm just lifting up some of it. She says that God existed and communicated in the dark womb of space while he was in the process of his own self-creation. And our Savior has arrived. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that God came to teach us about the way gods think. See, Master Fard Muhammad didn't come here to just set up mosque and mosque meetings. He came to teach us how to think like a God. So we have to throw off the limitations that the made people have placed on us in the half millennium that we have been in America. She goes on to say, the black man's origin is, see, when he says he created man from dust, what dust? Star material, cosmic dust. Each time, because everybody in here, we know we're not just this. All right? See, why did Aretha Franklin draw so many people? She's an example of the ability of the original people to manifest the self-created God right in our midst. Right in our midst. But it wasn't just her incredible voice, it was the work she was doing behind the scenes and her love of black people. And that's why she went against her father and posted bail for Angela Davis. That's why Aretha, when Mosque number 7 was surrounded by the police in 72, Aretha came to Mosque number 7 and came to Minister Farrakhan's office and said, I'm here to help. And asked him, has Jesse Jackson been here? No, ma'am. He will be here in 48 hours. And he was there in 48 hours. This is one person. Minister Farrakhan is one man. So this is why the Jews are going crazy and told those Negroes, don't you speak to him, don't you clap for him, don't you listen to him. And I'm going to close with these words from our dear Mother Tanetta. She said, each time we descend to earth, we descend to earth and are born in the womb of our mothers. See, we're living right now in the third dimension. And this is why we have to come out of spookism and manifest power in the third dimension. We got to come out of the poverty valve and we have to stop rather, pretending we don't want anything. We want it all. We want money. We want luxury. We want good homes and friendship in all walks of life. My little brother said, yeah, because he wants power. We want the good life. No more poverty. No more want. No more deprivation. We're gonna make Wakanda look like child's play. And we don't have to go anywhere. We're gonna control Stony Island from 57th all the way to 95th Street. When people drive by, first of all, you better be a certain way to come up and down this avenue. And I'm so glad my sister opened that restaurant over there. See, you gotta start. You gotta make a move. Because I've hated that strip mall over there. Because this is our flagship mosque. But let me tell you, now that a Muslim is over there, watch what happens. See, a Muslim draws other Muslims and people of right mind. And we create an atmosphere where a disbeliever can't survive. And they get uncomfortable and they start leaving. And then pretty soon, we control everything. But it starts one building at a time, one block at a time. But you have to make a move. And I'm way over time. It's not 9:06. I'm going to close right now. She said in our evolution, we have to understand that in our evolution, each generation that is born, this is how we understand our youth and our children, why they are like they are. Because they are stronger and bolder. Stronger and bolder vehicles of the cosmic material of stardust that we have inherited in our DNA, traced to the primordial material of the universe itself. This is who we are. The Holy Quran and the Bible, that's just a rudimentary roadmap, she writes, that we have long lost and forgotten, but are now gradually reawakening to the perfection of the God consciousness within, and we are coming to birth as the new crystal star children of a new world order of peace and righteousness. So may Allah bless us all with love and the light of understanding. Turn it back over to our beloved brother Troy to close the out. Thank you to the facilitators. Thank you all for being out. Assalamu alaikum.